Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a sledgehammer to a massive, universally accepted workplace myth. When you ask most managers, they actually believe their absolute top performers are just naturally gifted. It's the stubborn myth of the born star. They think talent is just baked right in from the start. But today, we're completely tearing that down. We're going to reveal the exact actionable strategies you need to shift from being an average, everyday employee to an absolute indispensable standout. Think about the top performers in your company right now. You know exactly who I'm talking about. They're the folks you always seem to effortlessly get the best projects, the highest praise, the biggest promotions, and yet they somehow still manage to leave the office at 5 p.m. sharp. It can be kind of infuriating, right? But ask yourself, are they really just fundamentally smarter than everyone else? Do they have some magical innate talent or superhuman processing speed? Or are they just doing something entirely different behind the scenes that you aren't? Well, the answer actually comes from Robert E. Kelly's landmark research. After spending years studying top-tier brilliant engineers at Bell Labs, which, by the way, was a place literally packed with geniuses, he set out to find what separated the true stars from the merely average. And what he proved conclusively is that workplace stardom is not an innate gift. It's not about a magical DNA sequence or a freakishly high IQ. It's actually the mastery of 9 specific, concrete, and highly learnable strategies. See, average performers constantly fall for what we call the IQ myth. They look at stars and think, well, they're just naturally brilliant. I could never do that. They assume it's all about intellect. But the reality? The reality is entirely strategic. Actual stars rely on a concrete behavioral framework. They use specific strategies that you, regardless of your job title or how long you've been there, can start applying at your desk literally today. To make these 9 breakthrough strategies super digestible, we've organized them into 3 clear milestones. First, mastering your personal drive. Second, building powerful professional connections. And third, navigating the bigger picture. Let's dive right in. Milestone 1, mastering your personal drive through initiative, self-management, and perspective. We are starting with the absolute foundation of your personal effectiveness. This is all about managing your own internal drive before you even try to manage anyone else. Strategy 1 is initiative. Now, a lot of people think initiative just means raising your hand for extra assignments, staying late to answer emails, and just generally looking busy. Actually, scratch that. It's completely wrong. It's not just doing more work. True initiative means seeking out responsibilities that go way beyond your basic job description, specifically to solve the company's biggest, most painful problems. It's the difference between just doing extra paperwork and, say, automating a process that saves your entire team 10 hours a week. It is about doing the right work that adds critical value. Moving on to strategy 2, self-management. Star employees take total charge of their own career paths. They absolutely never sit around waiting for the boss to give them instructions. Instead, they manage their own time and stress so effectively that they operate almost like a little independent business within the larger company. By aligning their personal goals with the team's goals and gracefully handling their own roadblocks, they become this incredibly low-maintenance, high-value asset. They literally remove the burden of micromanagement from their bosses completely. To wrap up your personal drive, you've got to develop strategy 3, perspective. Think of average employees as having a microscope view. They're intensely focused on their daily to-do list, their immediate tasks, their specific cubicle. Stars, on the other hand, have a satellite view. They zoom all the way out. Perspective is the ability to understand exactly how your specific, everyday tasks move the needle for the entire organization. Like, how does what you do affect the customer? How does it help beat the competition? That big picture understanding is true perspective. Okay, moving to our second milestone, building powerful professional connections. This includes networking, teamwork, leadership, and followership. Let's look at how mastering interpersonal dynamics can totally multiply your impact. Strategy 4 is networking. Average workers tend to think networking is just chatting by the coffee machine or randomly adding people online. But true stars build a strategic web of knowledge long before a crisis ever hits. They meticulously map out who the real experts are in the company. Then, they trade knowledge mutually, treating information like currency. So, when a massive problem inevitably pops up, they leverage that pre-built network for rapid problem solving. They can fix in minutes what would take an average employee days to figure out alone. Next is strategy 5, teamwork. And look, this isn't just about smiling and getting along with folks. True teamwork means ruthlessly prioritizing the joint success of the group over your own individual recognition. When you collaborate, you literally have to leave your ego at the door. Average employees often fall into that glory hog trap, totally desperate for the credit. But stars, they willingly share the spotlight because they know that when the team wins, that collective success ultimately reflects back on them. It enhances their reputation way more than a solo victory ever could. Now, strategies 6 and 7 represent two sides of the very same coin, leadership and followership. Star employees are essentially organizational chameleons. One day, they're stepping up to guide a project, influencing others without any formal authority, and getting everyone focused on the grand vision. That is true leadership. But the very next day, they can transition seamlessly into being an active follower. That means anticipating the leader's needs, executing tasks flawlessly, and actively making the boss look good. To be truly indispensable, you have to master both of these roles. Finally, we reach our third milestone, navigating the bigger picture. This is where we get into organizational savvy and presentation skills. It's all about mastering the complex and often hidden systems of your workplace. Strategy 8 is organizational savvy. Here's the secret. The real power in a company almost never matches the official organizational chart. Stars know how to navigate the informal structure. They know exactly who really pulls the strings and makes the decisions. Sometimes they recognize that the executive assistant holds far more actual sway than the vice president. Armed with this knowledge, they know exactly how to get things done and how to handle workplace conflicts gracefully without ever making enemies. And that brings us to Strategy 9, presentation or show and tell. Here's the harsh truth of the corporate world. Your brilliant ideas mean absolutely nothing if you cannot sell them. You have to customize your delivery to pitch the right message. You must tailor your presentation style to persuade your specific audience immediately. A star knows you pitch the finance team with hard spreadsheets and data, but you pitch the marketing team with compelling stories. If you can't translate why your idea matters to them specifically, it simply won't happen. So, there you have it. We've just sprinted through the 9 breakthrough strategies that actively separate the average, forgettable worker from the highly valued star. Initiative, self-management, perspective, networking, teamwork, leadership, followership, organizational savvy, and presentation. Individually, these strategies are incredibly powerful, but together, as a comprehensive playbook, they make you completely indispensable to any organization. The myth of innate talent is totally busted. The playbook is right in front of you now. So the only question left is this. Are you going to keep waiting for someone to magically recognize your potential? Or which of these 9 strategies are you going to actively deploy at your desk tomorrow morning to guarantee your own success? Pick one. Start your journey today. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.